General solutions for reversing the effects of the modern conveniences responsible for the development of degenerative disease. Part 2 of a 3-part series. Let me take a moment to recap the 7 conveniences most responsible for the development of our degenerative diseases. Number 1, using electric lights to extend our days by 3 or 4 hours, as well as engaging in our intensified competitive way of life, eventually exhausting our bodies. Number 2, because of sitting disease, most of us are dealing with constipation and the self-poisoning effects of colon problems. Number 3, from our exposure to chlorine, antibiotics, and the chemicals added to our foods, the friendly flora of our intestinal tracts has been destroyed, compounding the autointoxication of constipation caused by sitting disease. Number 4, by shutting down the body's largest organ of elimination, our skin, with air conditioners, our bodies accumulate large volumes of disease-enhancing fatigue acids. Number 5, from consuming foods made with vegetable oils, most of us had the foundation laid for heart and circulatory disease by the time we were 20 years of age. Number 6, from our modern farming practices, our vegetables are not only mineral deficient, but loaded with pesticides. As Linus Pauling stated, every ailment, every sickness, and every disease can be traced back to the organic trace mineral deficiency. Add to this the destructive effects of pesticides, and it becomes very obvious how these 2 modern-day farming practices are increasing our chances of developing degenerative disease. Number 7, the principle of disease states that disease always develops in a weakened area of the body. If the original cause of a disease wasn't due to a direct damage, in most cases, the weakened area was caused by nerve flow restriction, resulting from muscle spasms caused by a pivoted cranium. The most common cause for this pivot of the cranium is an assisted birth. Throughout history, women would naturally squat to deliver their babies, so this was never a problem in the past. The majority of the birthing problems from the past were due to unsanitary conditions. Pivoting the baby's cranium by assisting the birth is a problem created by a modern-day medical convenience. Once the cranium gets pivoted, this transfers tension down one side of the spine or the other, creating muscle spasms that reduce nerve flow to glands, organs, and other areas of the body. A pivoted cranium is one of the main causes involved with every disease condition. As previously mentioned, if you do nothing to reverse the negative effects of these 7 conveniences, there's absolutely nothing your body can do to avoid developing degenerative disease. With this statement being a fact, of course it would be essential for every person who wishes to avoid the development of any of the major degenerative diseases to learn how to support your body in reversing the negative effects of these 7 conveniences. The solutions are simple, but if not incorporated into your daily lifestyle habits, you will succeed only to the degree that you apply the following solutions. So let's move forward now and review the solutions that will actually support your body in reversing these 7 causes for the development of degenerative disease. But remember, information is like a bucket of paint. It's absolutely useless without application. Solution number 1. As mentioned before, most adults are energetically bankrupt. When it comes to reversing the lifetime accumulation of waste, the lifetime accumulation of damage, and actually healing the body, this huge volume of work is impossible if we don't figure out how to increase the energy within the body. Because we aren't taught better, we extend our days by at least 3 or 4 hours. Then, before retiring for the day, we usually find a way to exchange every ounce of our energy for accomplishments. Every day our bodies use approximately 50% of our usable energy just to digest the cooked foods that we eat. Then, as the years go by, we wonder why it takes our bodies so much longer to heal simple damages. It all boils down to energy. The body's highest priority of need is digestive support. The body draws life force from what is termed the metabolic enzyme pool to produce digestive enzymes. The metabolic enzyme pool is basically the life battery of the body. By the time the average adult reaches the age of 40, this life battery is close to being depleted. This is why digestion begins to drastically decline after 40. This is because most of the energy from our life battery has been used up in exchange for accomplishments by that time. It is for this reason we need to concentrate on chewing our food better and to use supplemental digestive enzymes with every meal to enhance digestion and the release of nutrients from the foods we are eating. Obviously, we also need to reduce our stress levels, reduce the demands we place upon ourselves, get to bed earlier, and in every way possible conserve our energy and stop wasting it. Solution number 2. The next area of support needed by every person is to eliminate constipation by enhancing the removal of food residue from the intestinal tract by using the correct supplemental fiber blend twice every day. Of course, this is the natural function of the healthy peristaltic action of the intestinal tract. Yet, after a lifetime of eating low-fiber foods, very few people have healthy peristalsis. Until the muscular tone is restored to the intestinal tract, it's impossible to move this residue as quickly and as completely as necessary to prevent self-poisoning through the stagnation of rotting food waste. Therefore, every adult needs to consciously focus upon rebuilding the muscular tone of the intestinal tract by taking a mild supplemental fiber blend twice every day. When beginning this rebuilding process, most people need additional stimulation to move the fiber. This would be in the form of a mild herbal laxative or a form of magnesium. The use of a shiatsu massage pillow will also help to reverse the tight, congested muscles of your lower back, so that your colon can relax and release the waste material it has been holding on to. As you will recall, it was the congested lower back muscles that compounded the constipation issue through nerve flow restriction. Solution number 3. The third essential area of support needed by every person is the rebalancing of the intestinal flora. The more serious need for this rebalancing is hardly ever discussed. It has to do with keeping the body hydrated. If the colon didn't draw most of the water from the fecal waste before it gets eliminated, dehydration would be a much greater problem than it already is. Now, when you think of the levels of unfriendly bacteria that is obviously present in fecal waste, as detected by its odor, have you ever pondered the fact that these fluids drawn from this waste material are transferred into the lymphatic system and on into your bloodstream? This is going on 24 hours of every day. And since 70% of your immune system comes from the intestinal bacteria, and since antibiotics, chlorinated water, and the chemicals that are added to our food all kill our friendly bacteria, is it any wonder why the body has to work so hard to avoid developing disease? So to rebalance the intestinal flora is not only the body's third prioritized request, but it's also the third step in supporting the intestinal tract for normalization. This work is accomplished by evacuating the old stagnated waste from the colon at the same time as implanting probiotics back into the colon. Solution number 4. Although we may work up a sweat when we exercise, we have to admit if we were able to collect the toxic waste eliminated in this quantity of perspiration, I don't believe it would be significant enough to relieve the liver at all. A 30-minute session in a far infrared sauna might also remove some chemicals and fatigue acids, but to do 2 30-minute detox baths every week would enhance the body's ability sufficiently to remove large quantities of chemicals, fatigue acids, and toxic metals. Solution number 5. The fifth issue the body needs our help with has to do with our main blood filter, the liver. The liver is our body's chemistry laboratory. There are over 500 vital chemistry functions the liver is performing 24 hours a day. One of the most important functions is to clean the chemicals, toxic metals, and the large volumes of oxidized arterial plaque from the blood. There's a great deal of talk and concern regarding the subject of cholesterol. This is such an important subject for everyone to properly understand. Doctors talk about good and bad cholesterol and prescribe drugs to reduce the liver's ability to produce cholesterol if the overall level is too high. What every individual needs to know is that cholesterol isn't at all bad. In fact, the brain and adrenal glands require cholesterol for fuel. To suppress the liver's ability to produce cholesterol is like turning a fuel valve closed on your car, then wondering why it doesn't have any power. The problem with cholesterol has only to do with the oxidized arterial plaque. This is the cholesterol the body uses on the arterial wall as a lubricant to keep your circulating blood from overheating your body. Because of the high content of oxygen in your blood, this cholesterol in time oxidizes. As we perform our daily movements and activities, this oxidized arterial plaque begins to flake and peel away from the arterial wall. The circulating blood breaks these tiny little flakes off, and they become a part of the bloodstream. It's the liver that filters these tiny particles out of the blood and releases them into the gallbladder, which is the trash can for the liver. The gallbladder then releases these particles into the intestinal tract, where they're carried down and out the bowel. The problem with this natural process develops as the result of the individual not consuming sufficient organic sodium from celery and other vegetables. Organic sodium is the body's prioritized alkaline mineral used to neutralize acid waste. Organic sodium also keeps the small particles of arterial plaque from sticking together. When a deficiency of organic sodium occurs, which happens with almost every person, these particles begin to form solid waxy balls inside the gallbladder. By the time we reach the age of 20, most of us have a gallbladder that is enlarged and physically blocked with these waxy balls of oxidized arterial plaque. Reducing cholesterol levels will never solve this problem. Only flushing this sludge out of the gallbladder will prevent further problems from developing. Since this information isn't yet taught in our schools, young adults are unaware of this problem. Also, since restoring lost health isn't a part of medical protocols, the problem continues to develop toward heart disease, stroke, and all circulatory conditions. After the gallbladder is full of this waste material, the physical blockage causes back pressure into the liver, where this same material begins to accumulate. During the following decade, what is referred to as a fatty liver begins to develop, and every decade after that, this condition advances. This condition isn't from fat cells developing in or around the liver. It's the buildup of oxidized arterial plaque enlarging the liver. This condition, left unchecked and lacking proper explanation, allows adults to continue advancing toward the many dangerous diseases that are unnecessarily killing millions of people every year. So the solution, which might sound a little extreme at first, is to perform one gallbladder flush every week or two, one flush for every year of your age. Yes, if you are 60 years of age, you have 60 gallbladder flushes to perform in order to reverse the lifetime accumulation of toxic waste from your body. The gravity of this problem is similar to having a car that has never had the oil or filters changed for 60,000 miles. After becoming aware of the seriousness of this problem, you realize that the only way to save the engine would be to change the oil and the filters every month in order to desludge your engine. You now need to get your liver to help you desludge your body. The sludge that has accumulated throughout the body is the substance that all degenerative disease and aging is comprised of. If you do not remove this waste, your body will age as everyone that has gone on before us, and you will develop degenerative disease, just as most people do. Health and disease are now choices. Neither one just happens. Both are created. Solution number 6. The sixth request of every body is for us to be mindful of the body's nutritional needs. The body must have at least a minimum supply of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids to maintain a quality of health. The priority is for these nutrients to come from real foods that are being digested properly. Drinking vegetable juices and drinking smoothies made of whole food extracts is the easiest and most effective way of providing your body with these necessary nutrients. Solution number 7. And finally, as we reviewed in the beginning, if the body had enough energy, it could heal itself of most problems. Producing energy in the body is similar to building a fire. To build a fire, you need 3 things: fuel, oxygen, and heat. To create energy in the body, you need the same 3 things. Most bodies have enough fuel, but not quite enough oxygen and nowhere near enough heat. Exercise is absolutely essential to generate more oxygen in the body, and definitely essential to create enough heat to ignite the fire of metabolism. While several short, fast walks every day work very well, jumping on a mini trampoline is the world's most effective whole-body exercise. This form of exercise not only works every cell in your body, but it's the most effective way of moving the lymphatic fluids up through the body to wash the acid waste away from all the tissue cells. Remember, the innate wisdom of your body is the greatest physician you will ever find, and its highest priority is always for self-healing and for normalizing the body chemistry functions to create the highest level of health possible. It's our own self-destructive lifestyle habits that are continually undermining this natural healing process. When a person takes drugs or specific supplements for the treatment of symptoms, most of the time the actual reasons the symptoms occur are never being addressed. Life teaches us very thoroughly that when we discover an effect, such as a symptom of disease, and we don't find the cause and correct it, we are almost guaranteed that the effect will either remain or soon return. This is the reason I developed the Body Chemistry Support System. The Body Chemistry Support System provides the fastest, most effective, and least expensive method for you to assist the innate wisdom of your body in fulfilling its own agenda, to correct the causes for the development of disease, to heal your body, and to create the highest level of health possible. This is the end of Part 2 in our 3-part series. You now have a general idea of what you can do to support your body in healing itself of the 7 problems resulting from our modern conveniences. I'd like to now invite you to review Part 3 to learn about the easiest, most effective, and least expensive system for assisting your body in making these essential corrections to avoid the development of degenerative disease.